the last couple of years, the school's been on a journey to not only improve our learning spaces but also to expand them. And the reason we are expanding them is that our council, the school council, has agreed to grow the school from its current number of around 1,200 to a new number of about 1,500 over the next 7 or 8 years.
So one of the ideas we had behind splitting up the library from the ground floor was we really wanted to move the libraries into the areas of the school where the learning was happening. The libraries obviously provide a recreational space for students, but we also felt that by having the libraries embedded in the junior school and in the middle school, students will be able to access them and teachers will be able to take their classes to the library more easily.
In regard to our learning spaces, we've done progressive upgrades right across the school. This year we'll focus on moving our libraries to each of the divisions. That model has worked fantastically for senior college, and we think it will work really well for middle school and junior school.
So the library and the librarians play an absolutely key role in the IB Middle Years program. They play a really important role in approaches to learning, which is about how we teach and how we learn. And they play an important role in coming into the classroom as well as being in the library space. They teach our students, and along with the teachers, how do you research, how do you form research questions, and then really importantly, how you reference afterwards as part of a really important part, which is academic honesty.
Throughout history, it's been very readily documented that reading certainly promotes a child's ability to have an imagination and be able to escape and build friendships and learn life skills through the printed word. Something that they can't get from, even interacting with, computer games and that, even with your augmented reality, it just doesn't replace what children can get from reading the printed word. So books are incredibly valuable for all students.
One of the really important factors in any school is unifying moments and special places that students can go and teachers can visit as well, where they feel comfortable and students from across year groups can mix, which is something that can be difficult to do at different times. We have other occasions when we can do that, but in my experience the library is an excellent place that can bring people together. So literacy is obviously one of the really important functions of a library, supporting literacy, but so is looking after students in a pastoral sense. So we know that students often visit the library when they need a quiet place at recess or lunch to sit and reflect, to read, to enjoy perhaps a lighter time of reflection. And we know that the staff at the library at St Andrews know the students who walk into their library, and they provide opportunities for them to relax as a group. They run important study options, and as well as that they run informal social occasions that we know really benefits some of our students who might need that extra support. And one of the really special ways about it is the students themselves don't even necessarily know that the library staff are looking after them. They might think that they're just trying to help them find a book or something else, but when in fact they're actually having a conversation with them to help them get an idea of how they're feeling and what's going on in their life.
It's been a really great overlap with ICT and the library space. We have a whole lot of groups of all different year groups coming in, creating content, working in groups. The green room's been a really great example of that. We've got a reading room that's just become a multi-purpose room, where we've painted the walls and put a bit of extra lighting in. But we have groups coming in, superimposing themselves into scenes or photos, doing news reports, weather reports, all sorts of content. But it's been particularly awesome to see this bring about a whole lot of innovation and creative thought, and that's been the exciting part of it. And that's all come about due to skills that they've learned.
We have designed a new space with different functions in mind for single student study or group work, teaching spaces for classes and reading areas, as well as a theatre for presentations and a cafe space, which the kids always love.
Well, the junior school are really excited about getting a quality library on their floor, accessible for all the staff, for all the students.
We conducted a student survey early in the process in order to see what the students like about our current spaces, if they have any other suggestions about things we should add. The most popular suggestions were for a cafe, for quiet spaces so that they can study, more beanbags of course, a theatre and self-checkout machines. We've kept this all in mind while designing a new library.
It's interesting that we've decided to embrace a library and all that goes with it, considering schools across Australia are actually doing the opposite. Libraries are not being built in new schools, libraries are being pulled down, and librarians are becoming extinct. Schools are taking the choice that, research can be done in the classroom, why do you need a library? But here at St Andrews, we actually feel the opposite. We accept that literacy is important to us and quality literature, and we need a space to store, house, organise and make it accessible for our staff and our students.
One of the things we're doing this time is to look at some new principles called wellness principles for buildings, and two specifically we are wanting to incorporate eating spaces on each of the floors for middle school students and hydration stations so that students can also always have access to fresh water. In addition to that, we've always wanted to get students close to windows so they've got good light and good air conditioning, and generally I think our new spaces will be inspiring and flexible, adaptable and meet the needs of modern pedagogy.